Hi, welcome. It's Friday night. It's the Mind Aid Live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live. I'm Matthew Dickson of mindaid.ca, and I've got schizophrenia. I help people with mental illness in developing countries so they can get access to basic mental health care. And I've read tons of books on how to get myself better from through schizophrenia. I've read hundreds of books on mental health tips, people skills, mindset tricks, Navy SEAL mindset tricks, how police officers deal with people with words, not weapons, verbal judo, the gentle art of persuasion by George Thompson. That's a great book. That's how police officers deal with people with words, not weapons. That book has helped me so much in my daily life, just in dealing with people. It's not perfect, and they say that in the book, but it really helps me understand what's going on in a situation. I'm getting on some podcasts recently. I'm happy about that. I've done three already in the last week or so, and I've got some more booked for the next few weeks. I've got one booked in February. That's as far out as I've got booked. That's with someone in Philadelphia, and I've got another one booked December 20th. And other than that, they're mostly in October, working into November probably pretty soon. I got on Podmatch.com and Matchmaker.fm. They link podcast guests with podcast hosts, and I'm having great success with that. And a number of people are reaching out to me, asking me if I want to be on their podcast. They see my profile on there, and ask if I'd like to be on it. And I'm like, sure, if it's a good fit with their niche of their podcast. And also, I'm reaching out to other people there. So, uh, very happy about that. And yeah, I'm doing a speaking event in October, October 21st. That's through my eSpeakers page, espeakers.com. The link is on mindaid.ca under the speaking button there. And you can hire me to speak. I charge 800 for virtual events and about 1,000 for in-person events, plus expenses, travel expenses. But yeah, I'm also doing another speaking event in New Brunswick here in October. So if you want me to speak, I can speak at high schools, for your business, nonprofits, whoever, universities, colleges, Rotary clubs. I will speak to people about mental health in general mental health tips that can help people no matter where you live. I do try to focus the most on mental health in developing countries because I believe they need that more than we do. We need it badly. For people here in Canada and also other countries, this could probably overlap with other countries too, I'm sure. There's a man in Nova Scotia, Canada, his name's Todd Leader, and he has a book called It's Not About Us, and it's how he transformed his small area of Nova Scotia. Well, I don't know how small, but it's not all of Nova Scotia. And he radically transformed their mental health and addiction system. And he teaches how other places in Canada, and I'm assuming other countries, could follow suit. He got for one of the things he did, among many things, was getting wait times from 5 to 8 months down to about 3 weeks, 1 week, even less, which is huge. And the book's called It's Not About Us because he says so many people reach out to him saying, we've got a mental healthcare system, but it's not about us. It's about the paperwork and about the system. And his whole focus, the main thrust of what he does, is trying to get the mental health care and addiction system focused on the patient, focused on the person going through mental health and addiction, instead of being organized and arranged from the bureaucracy side, the paperwork side. And he says, for example, when someone walks into a mental health clinic, how many seconds does it take, or minutes, maybe hours, before that person is attended to? He says the second they walk in, they should be attended to and dealt with whatever problems they need to have dealt with immediately. And how do you arrange that? And this is what he's done in his area of Nova Scotia. I'm trying to promote his book and trying to get other people on board with that. It's phenomenal what he's done. And if you know of anybody who could use that book, please share it with them, tell them about it, send them a link. Anybody in positions of power, anybody you think who might be able to help in some way. I have gone through schizophrenia. I'm doing well now. It's taken me a long time to get this good, but I want to offer hope to people going through schizophrenia in particular. There's a lady in Saskatchewan. She's in her mid 20s. She has schizophrenia. She's a schizophrenia advocate. And she's doing things at 25. I think she's 25 now. She's doing things at 25 that I was not doing at 25. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia at 22, and I was in and out of a group home. Well, I was in and out of the psych ward, and for my first year of recovery, by the time I was 25, 26, I was still living in a group home, and I was still struggling to be productive, to be doing the things I wanted to do. It took a long time for me to get better, but she's doing things. She's a certified hypnotherapist. She's putting on virtual events, which I was not doing at 22, 25. And I want to offer hope to people who may have schizophrenia. I asked her, I said, why do you think you're doing this well when other people might not be? I said, is it the medication? She said she didn't know. Maybe it is the medication. Maybe medications now. I mean, I'm 50. When I got diagnosed in 1994, there weren't as many medications back then. And maybe they're just better now. I don't know. But for someone going through schizophrenia and struggling, know that there's hope. There's always hope. And you never know what the future may bring. You just don't know. You don't know. We can think, especially when we're depressed, thinking, oh, this is the way I'll be. Things probably won't change. You know, and it's hard. And you just lay there sitting this stuff when you don't know. Think of all the things the last 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 30 years, all the scientific advancements that have come out, and all the changes in the world, changes about attitudes. Maybe attitudes have been changing a lot about mental health in the last 10, 12 years, even more so with the pandemic. The pandemic in 2020 brought everything wide out into the open. Not all mental illnesses are talked about as much as they should, even though the pandemic brought out a lot about mental health. Schizophrenia is one of them. It's still hiding. It's come out more from the shadows, but it's still in the shadows a bit. And think of attitudes. How many more attitudes will change about things? How much more stigma will be lessened over the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? How much more will things be talked about and tolerated and understood, and people having more compassion for other people, people understanding what other people are going through, and knowing better ways to deal with them, better ways to speak with them, and what are better ways to treat them? How many more things will change? There are things, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. The 80s was a modern time. We had microphones, or not microphones, microwaves, and all sorts of technology. Yet you look back on it now, and wow, how things have changed since then. We think here we thought in 1980, well, how much better can things get? Well, things change a lot better. Attitudes. My gosh, the attitudes that have changed in the last 30, 40 years. More tolerance for people, more understanding, more respect. And we still have work to do, but it's things will get better. Things will get better. We're on the right trajectory. The world is on the right trajectory for more compassion, more understanding, treating people better, and trying to help each other. So many people need help. And that's another thing I try to promote is if you have the strength and the interest, try to help other people. See if you can volunteer in your community, volunteer globally, virtually. Do things that you may not ordinarily do. Everyone knows about volunteering, and millions of people volunteer. You could be one of them. And instead of watching TV or watching Netflix, some volunteer organizations just need like an hour a month. Even that, maybe that's something you could try. I'll leave it at that for today, and I'll hope to see you Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week as I keep doing these lives. And this one's recorded right now. Sometimes I record them if I can't make the live at the time at 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights. But I do try my best to to do them actually live. So